Boom, guys, listen, okay, we're back. You're probably wondering why the hell is it so dark in here, right? Listen, we're doing a challenge right now, okay? I was laying in my nice cold bed, and I see this reel, okay? Look at this.
You're a mentally strong person. I challenge you right now to complete 500 push-ups before you receive. No fucking excuses.
Now you heard it right. No effing excuses, alright? That's what we're all about. Listen, while I'm doing these push-ups, I'm gonna, cut back and forth. I'll show you something. Currently, we're tracking this on this sheet right here. This is, can you guys see this? 20, 20, 20, 20, so 100 and now 20, 20. So we're at 140. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's 2:30 in the morning. Who does this shit, okay? You're looking at the real G here. This is not fake. I'll show you guys the time on my phone. That's the time right now. And here we are, essentially doing our push-ups, all right? So, essentially we're going to be talking about setting new standards today, because I just posted about this on my Instagram, and it's something I wanted to talk about ever since I had a call with a client of mine last week, and we talked about setting new standards. I'm going to do some push-ups and then I'm going to get back to it. Boom. So now we just did 20. I'm going to put more 20 here. Boom. All right, guys. Let's get into it. Hopefully the lighting isn't that bad. I don't want to ruin my eyesight with a lot of light right now, because we're going to bed after we've done our 500, okay? So listen, setting new standards, right? I was talking to a client of mine. He was talking about how he joined my program because he wanted to set a new standard. He wanted to see what was possible. And I related so much to what he was saying, because it's so true. Like, you don't know what you don't know. But it's like, until you see how someone else is performing at a higher level, like actually go about doing simple actions, then you don't know, like, because that standard is unknown to you. And so it's very difficult to get into that standard and get into doing the right things if you don't know of that. And I think that it's such a shame, because I talk to people all the time, their standards are set so low. Like, for a lot of people I talk with, it's like, okay, we're gonna do a little bit of workout, right? And it's not really that much of a workout. Honestly, it's not really that much of a workout. And so I tell them, hey, we're doing this instead and we're doing this. And it's like, wow, is this possible? I thought this was overtraining. And so, like, it's not overtraining at all, right? But we have all these limiting beliefs in our minds about, hey, what is possible and what not. And it's not until we actually set a new standard for ourselves that we can break those limitations, okay? When it comes to breaking those limitations, it's so important, because we only rise to the occasion of where our limitation is set. If our limitation is set here, we can only rise to that. We cannot rise above it. And so we need to break that, and setting a new standard for what we think is acceptable or not from ourselves, and not just ourselves, from people around us too, is a great way of going about it. A lot of the stuff that I've experienced with this is from people around me, from people who are doing better than me. And it's been such a crazy transformation, especially over the last year, coming out of the military and just not knowing anything about what's, like, for real, living under a rock, almost literally. Like, it's been almost living like on a rock literally for 6 years. And then coming out here and being around the world and then seeing, hey, this is actually possible. This is actually possible. We have all these options, right? And I would never have known of that had I not known what actions are there to actually enforce those standards, and what results people have actually gotten from those actions. And that required me to put myself out there, talk to people, and engage and learn from what I saw out there. Because I didn't know of this. And it's crazy how you just talk to someone, it's like, hey, you're doing this way, and that's working. And now your mind is actually just so much expanded, because you just learned of like a simple thing to do like differently. And now you have all these opportunities and possibilities open up for you, because you learn of a new standard of doing things. You learn of a new way, right? And it's crazy, because it doesn't require you that much, and it's not something that's really physical. Like, hey, I'm gonna set this new standard for what we're gonna do. It's not like you can always touch it and etc. Because you have to think that, hey, okay, this is not good enough. So you kind of have to be take yourself accountability for it. Then you have to actually go out there and apply action on the certain stuff that you're supposed to do. And that requires some courage. It requires some risk. But until you take that risk, until you have the courage, then nothing changes. Nothing changes. And it's interesting how we're talking about standards right now. Because for a lot of people, they would have stayed in bed. A lot of people would have stayed in bed instead of waking up and doing their push-ups. But I woke up and I did my push-ups because that's a standard I've set for myself. And I'm not saying it was easy to get up and do those 500 push-ups that we're currently doing. But I'm saying that, hey, we've just been challenged to something. We're going to rise to the occasion. That's the standard I set for myself. That's the standard everyone around me set for themselves. Like, hey, you're going to do 100 push-ups right now. It's okay. Roger that. Let's get it. That's the way we want to do stuff. And for a lot of people, they don't have that standard. And so if they're asked to rise to that occasion, they're thinking like, no, that's impossible. You can't do that. While for someone who has set that standard, like, and broken those barriers of limitation, they're like, just like that. And so you can actually go back to the point. What's actually impossible and what's actually not impossible? Because is it really just a construct of the mind then? Because what's impossible for someone like me might not be impossible for someone else. And what's impossible for them might not be impossible for me. So what truly is the truth, right? I'll tell you what the truth is. The truth is that impossible is only the limitation and the standard you set for yourself. And this proves it. Because you can take two people and they have different standards, and one will think this is impossible. The other person will think, hey, this is completely possible. I got this. It's easy. It's just like that. And that goes for everything in life, honestly. Any skill, any feat of strength. It's just about, hey, what is possible and what's not. Right now, we're currently at 240 push-ups. I just want to leave you guys with that, okay? Impossible is nothing. It's just about which standard you rise to. And you never rise further than that standard. This goes for... I've experienced this in military training too. Because when I was in the conventional forces, we had this certain level of standard to rise to when it came to shooting, when it came to doing drills and that, and like all this stuff, our equipment, the way we approached it, the professionality, the standard of professionality. When I went into my special forces training, all that changed because I learned from someone else, hey, this is how we do things now. And so I've been able to take that and just skyrocket it just because I learned that standard, and impossible became nothing. Simple as that, okay? I'm gonna continue to do my push-ups. I'm gonna show a clip here once I'm done with the 500. All right, guys, just finished the 500. It's scribbled down pretty bad, I would say. I understand it, hopefully you do as well. But we got 20 here, 100, 200, 300, over to 400 here. And then we completed the 5 sets of 20 to 500. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, okay? Don't let anything stop you. Go out there, crush whatever time of day it is. Whatever time of day it is, go crush it, okay? Take care. Zoom, 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 we got this. Boom!